Next on the list. I just wanted to give an update on the water line replacement that we're doing on the Water District number 1. We've applied. I was just looking at the documents. If anybody ever wants to see the application and the maps, I have a set down in the supervisor's office. But we had applied last January with U.S. Rural Development to replace the water lines on Racket Road, North Racket Road, Smith Road, Frigo 131, crossing the bridge, and the part of Tripany Road. We had contracted with Tisdale Engineering out of Canton, and they've done all the drawings and submitted them to U.S. Rural Development. And we've had an application in there pretty much since January last year. They've done a pre-engineering report, which we got a grant for to pay that, $17,000, and we're waiting for an answer from Rural Development to allow us to go out to bid any day now. We've submitted the last thing that we needed to do was the year-end financials, the AUD that we've submitted to that department, so they've got that, so we should be able to go to bid this spring. I know that a lot of people have suffered from multiple leaks in the water line. All I can say is that was before me. I'm not to blame for that. Were you here then, Al? But so anyway, just to let the public know that we appreciate that what the public on the North Racket Road especially have had to put up with, and hopefully we'll get that resolved this spring. So, as I said, I've got the plans down in the office if anybody ever wants to pop in and see them. We have resolutions that we're asking to approve the minutes for November 15th. I'm going to do it separately or all together? December 18th and December 31 that you've been sending emails to.
Steve, I believe there'll be one correction on December 18th if you want to wait on that one. Brenda sent me a question on missing one of the resolutions, so I'd like to check into that before we approve those.
And also, just make a note on the December 31st, I and Sue are listed. Were we actually officially on the board at the time?
No, that is probably an error, and I will check that as well.
Just a correction.
Let's approve the November 15th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just the 15th.
There was no-
Albert.
15th. Oh, no. Because we
But they made the motion. Second. Second by Sue Bell.
Can you repeat that?
Seconded by St. Carbone.
Can you repeat who made the motion?
Albert made the motion to approve the November 15th, seconded by St. Carbone. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? So carried. All right. We need to set a public hearing for the final solar law and the seeker review. And our illustrious town attorney, did you want to talk about that at all?
Yeah, Steve, we've got a draft of solar. The county planning board has made some suggested changes, which I've got drafted. There's still one outstanding issue we need to resolve with the planning board regarding the exact districts that they wanted to apply to. But I'm assuming we can wrap that up relatively shortly, and we can have a public hearing on it for the March meeting. Seeker will probably take until April to complete, but if we set the public hearing, we can do that in March and hopefully complete the seeker and adopt it in April.
All righty, so I need somebody to make a motion to set a public hearing at our next meeting, our March meeting.
I'll make a motion and set a public hearing.
Robert made the motion, seconded by Albert, for both, correct?
Yes.
Public hearing and the seeker. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, so carried. We have I would like authorization to purchase a new computer for the security cameras from ABS for a cost of $1,004.98. This is a computer that would go down in the police station, and they would have, right now it's completely inoperable, and the police department normally would have the camera set up in the courtroom and also in the hallway.
That would be what we walked through that day.
Yes,
And that's my question.
yes.
Would be nice to
No,
have.
actually, it's not. This is ABS. Advanced Business. Go ahead and say.
Would be nice to have in the hallway, especially after the TV was stolen.
But as it turned out, we didn't need it. We had a
Highly trained.
highly trained, security trained maintenance man. I don't know if everybody is aware that somebody tried to hijack our brand new television from the court.
Wrong guy.
Very smooth.
In front of came up through the police station, back entrance, came upstairs, stole the TV and the chair that Frank DeAgostino was sitting in
To help him
to carry it.
I like your Frank.
And so
He didn't get very far.
he didn't get very far. Well, like we said, we had our security trained maintenance man that confronted them, and they left the area. He was shortly apprehended, so can I have that in a motion? Not the theft part, just the computer.
Yeah, so moved.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? All those, and Albert, this is not your cousin that we're buying this from. This is for Advanced Business Services that we
Just
have.
wanted to be sure.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, so carried. So I'm also looking for authorization to sign a resolution supporting, authorizing an agreement to spend the highway funds for 2020.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Albert, seconded by Sam.
That's, what roads will those be, Frank,
What's that?
for the highway?
The Highland and Pontoon Bridge Road. And also, you have to specify that the general repair contractual fund is going to be spent on roads, maintenance, all that type of thing, so.
In our motion, we did that, you're saying?
No, I'm just saying that's if you're wondering what.
Okay.
Next is the resolution for the golf course, Massena Golf Course.
You would take note that I recuse myself from any discussion of that resolution due to my employment.
I have to ask, who wrote this resolution that we received today?
Who what?
Wrote it?
I did.
You wrote it.
I did.
Can you maybe help me answer these questions then? The word that confuses me down below, I guess that concerns me, is the fourth paragraph talking about development and partnership. Can you explain what that means? I mean, we have to be fiscally responsible. Does that mean that we're going to be having to have our taxpayers pay toward this golf course?
Well, at this point, the funding sources are not finalized. And of course, before you'd spend any taxpayer dollars, you'd have a chance to bring that back. But the idea is to develop a system so that the golf course can stay open, right? It's not a resolution to spend any money. It's to develop a plan, a partnership to, undertake that task.
I tell you, I'm a golfer. I enjoy golfing at the golf course. I joined in '89, and I was looking through my folder, and I played right through as a member through 2015, and then with all my other organizations I belong to, I've only played certain times. In all that amount of time, I've gone over all these letters. There's always seems to be fiscal problems up there. I'm just wondering what could possibly change. I also know from talking to a lot of my dear friends who play that they've already tried to get sit-downs with NIPA this past year, and somehow they didn't work out.
Well, and again, that's with the Massena Country Club, Inc., right? With municipal entities, the real property tax structure that I think is one of the larger budget items out there would not be the same. That would be the number one thing that would change, right? You'd still have certain operational expenses. But that would be one thing that would change is the amount of real property taxes on the facilities.
Right now, the real property taxes go to Louisville, is that true?
Well, they're taxed, the buildings and the various improvements, the tee boxes, that sort of thing, are taxed. And it gets the town and county taxes, the school taxes, just like any other entity. Right? So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have the same concerns Sue does in regards to what does partnership actually mean? Does that mean that we're looking to come up with some way that we're going to form a partnership with these three entities that we now take over and operate and maintain the golf course? If that's the simple nutshell what we're trying to do, I'm not sure I can support that, because that's just, to me, we're not doing that now, right?
Absolutely not.
Right.
Okay.
No, what I guess I should back up a little bit. I mean, we have met with officials from the town of Louisville and some of the members of the Massena Country Club, Inc., about what direction they don't feel that they can continue to fund the country club as it is. And so what we had talked about was asking the New York Power Authority to fund that as a tourist destination, much as they do with the Massena Beach and Whalen Park and some of the other facilities that they maintain throughout the area on the waterfront within the project boundaries. So it is completely within the New York Power Authority property. We would be same as with the beach and Whalen Park, and what they do with those facilities is that we do all of the maintenance on the beach, Massena Beach, and then we submit bills and vouchers, and the Power Authority pays all the maintenance, O&M, operation maintenance of the facility. So, and we do that right now through Massena Rec, which is the joint village, but it's not, none of it is funded by taxpayer dollars.
So it's a zeroing out. We have expenses up front, but then we're reimbursed.
But I don't want to be seen as misleading, right? We don't know.
Yeah,
Right, but until we try, unless we've got authorization to try and start pushing people, I mean, the facility.
Is it possible, Eric, to take out that word partnership and just say develop a plan to involve the communities? Because,
As you wish.
you know what I mean? Because I have to believe, has NIPA ever supported golf courses before in New York State? Or do they want to start?
Golf courses run by state parks. You've got one in Augsburg, you've got one in Syracuse, Bethpage, where they hold the US Open. The times are all state park.
State.
And we're not asking them, the New York Power Authority, to run the golf course. what we're
I'm
asking.
sure they wouldn't want to. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
what we want is the same sort of scenario that we have with the facilities now, the beach and Whalen Park. You know, we haven't been able to arrange a meeting with them yet. We asked for that back, it was last year. And there's been some difficulty in scheduling a meeting to talk about that. I don't think, you know, there isn't a good picture for the present model to continue operation out there.
Oh, no, I know, because they've had caterers over the years, didn't fulfill their contracts, it's been one thing after another.
Well,
So, I mean, if you want to change language, I really don't have any pride of
I would-
authorship. but
Yeah, that
it
word
doesn't-
partnership bothers me, because I've done lots of grants, and with the school district, I did grants for corporations in Massena, and they always ask me ahead of time, I want to see your plans, and because they're going to commit money, we had to commit money, that kind of thing. So I have to believe that the New York Power Authority is going to say, well, what are you thinking about already? Are you going to help us out with this, or is it all on our shoulders? I have to believe they ask that question.
oh yeah, I mean, it's a long way off from happening, but we thought that.
And it says here, the village of Massena also, excuse me, has the village already seen this also?
They've seen it, but they've taken no action.
And again, that's a function of the way recreation is typically done in the town of Massena is through the Joint Rec Commission. That's why they were a participant, along with the idea that as a tourist destination, the impact of the country club is on the whole of the community, not just the town of Louisville, the town of Massena, but it impacts the village as well. So it was kind of a recognition, and our understanding that they wanted to be part of that process through the Joint Rec Commission.
I can understand that part, excuse me, but when it said village and town of Massena, I immediately thought, oh my God, I pay school taxes, town taxes, village taxes, are they gonna get me twice to cover the country club? Immediately went through my mind.
No, and I don't think anybody, from Larry Legault over in Louisville to us or the Rec Association, I mean, we don't want to commit, we aren't planned to subsidize golfers in this area. What my main concern is, we don't need another black eye in this community. You know, we have different areas that are vacant, and this provides a real tourist industry. People, we advertise it, we want to use it for other things. We're talking about, other events. We're talking about when the FLW comes, having a red carpet event out at the country club. I mean, we plan on using that facility. I don't want to have to drive by there and have grass that's a foot long.
Well, I don't
and
think
it's
any
abandoned.
of us do. I want to continue golfing there myself.
Right.
But again, sitting here in the town council, I have to think about, if I'm thinking of this question, there's got to be other people thinking the same way. So even if it just change it to like, we encourage to have a sit-down meeting, the town council is very interested in this, that kind of thing. You know where I'm going with this? Eric, I know you do, Eric. It's your wording. You're the lawyer. You know how to say it right.
Listen, I use partnership because it was a joint effort by the three municipalities to come up with a plan that would allow the golf course to stay open. I don't think it is imposing any obligations. If you're concerned about it, give me some words that you want. I'll work them in.
Yeah. So should we table that until next month and talk about
Well, we
the
can,
wording?
but, the whole idea is that we're not committing to anything other than support for
Well,
the,
I guess even the village has tabled it, so maybe they're concerned about the wording.
well, I
as
don't
well.
know if they've tabled it. They just haven't taken any action. I don't know if they brought it up and discussed it.
I don't have a problem with a resolution of support as long as it's not a resolution of obligation. That's
Yeah, no.
That's what I want to make
It's
clear.
merely to develop. There's no promise to spend any money contained in the resolution. It doesn't impose any obligation to spend any money.
I'm assuming the plan, if developed, would identify those costs.
Yes. And you, of course, would have to approve those.
Okay.
So people
Well, and
rework it.
I think that, I'm just concerned that we keep putting this on. And I think that we should, I think we should stand with Louisville in committing to keeping that facility open.
I don't have a problem with that, like I said, my big thing is as long as there's not an obligation attached to this
They're covered for
resolution.
this year, I know they're not talking about.
Well, not,
Yeah.
we don't know that.
Well, yeah, I was told that the other day by
Well,
someone.
I mean,
They're
they're
staying
talking-
open this year, they've got things taken care of so far this year, so I can see this going down. And it's gonna take a few months anyway. If they wanted to meet with NIPA last fall and they didn't meet, well, this is several months later, so we've got to get the meeting yet anyway. So whether it's this month or
no
next month.
motion
No, I don't have a problem with the resolution as worded, as long as it's not an obligation. I don't see an obligation in here. I think partnership had to be defined a little bit, but
Well, yeah, I don't like that.
So,
I make a motion that we accept the resolution as written for now.
Second.
any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Well, as written with the word partnership, I have to vote no.
One opposition and abstention.
Abstention.
So carried.
Okay, well, so go back and tell me, you made the motion?
Robert made the motion,
Okay.
seconded by Albert.
Oh, all right, thank you.
Approved by 3 of us, 1 no from Mrs. Beller, and
Because of that one word, right?
and 1 abstention. Okay, moving on. So, I'm looking for authorization to allow the highway superintendent to advertise for an opening at the highway garage.
So moved.
Second.
Frank?
Obviously, I'm not going to name the employee right now, but have his letter of basically retirement. His official last day would be March 30th, but he'll be done around May 30th. Be done on May 15th. He'll take his vacation time that he's got left. And so I would like to interview or post or in the paper the first 2 weeks of March, interview roughly around the 3rd week of March, select an individual hopefully by the end of the 3rd week of March, offer a job to somebody. Typically they put in a 2-week notice. That gets us to the middle of April. So we pretty much would have the employee a month before the other employee leaves.
So, yeah, this is a retirement,
Yeah, retirement.
anticipated retirement. So, this is what we've done when we've had a few in the
Yes,
last
and it's been-
couple of years.
Yes, quite a few.
They're at that age.
Yeah.
And
We'll have one more next November.
so this would give the highway department time to acclimate.
It gets him towards where season changes. It gets him coming out of winter, going into spring and then summer. And then he'll be able to go into, obviously, preparing for the winter and the fall.
And who knows, if we're lucky, maybe he can get some plowing in.
Yeah,
in
I hope
April.
not.
So, can I, so approved by, or motion by Sam, seconded by Albert. Any other comments or discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, so carried. So, you have received this revenue recognition policy that was recommended by our auditors to implement. This is something new that they felt that we were lacking in the past years. So I had sent it, or Brenda had sent it all to you at the beginning of the month. I had a chance to review it. Can I have a motion to accept that? Second. Motion by Albert, seconded by Robert. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? What's wrong with you? We're not hearing yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes.
This is.
I'm sorry.
Aye,
Okay. So carried. So we have the opportunity, looking for a motion to approve our spring cleanup and the use of vouchers that we instituted last year because our highway superintendent came up with some great ideas and it actually saved the town significant money while affording the opportunity to the taxpayers of the town of Massena to be able to.
I think you all got a copy of this, right? It's just basically changing the dates for this year.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that nobody wanted to make any other changes to it, but we've got to order these. I know
That's
it's
fine.
March, but it's coming, so.
Yeah, and it went well last year.
Yep.
You didn't have any recommendations to change things?
No, but maybe tomorrow we can talk. The county's asked me a question about doing something different, so we'll talk to you about that. Maybe we can talk about it next meeting.
These will still have to be picked up in person?
What's that?
These will still have to be picked up
Yes.
in person?
Yeah.
Okay. And was the period last year shorter, or is it the?
No, it's about the same. It's the month of May.
It's the month of May.
Yeah.
The village is shorter.
The
The village is 1 week for north of the grass, 1 week for south of the grass. I believe they're doing theirs different as well. I think it's open to the whole village for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you found that the month really worked out well.
Yeah,
And
it
the
spreads it out,
county
well,
did.
it helps out the transfer station because it spreads it out over, basically 30-some days versus, 10 days for them. It makes it a lot easier for them. And my intention is not to have our people standing there, working and helping people. That way, the village does it because they get so much at once, they've got to have people there, so you just save money. We got better things to do with our people than take a mattress and throw it in the trailer.
There's so many things I could say to that. but restrain myself. So can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Seconded by Robert. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? So carried. So we need a review of the draft agreement for the, what's their names?
Calcerinas and Street.
There we are. Services for the General Aviation Apron Rehabilitation Project. Right.
Yeah, this is basically where we you have another outside engineering firm look at the project and bid it to make sure that the bids are within reason. And I think there's a fee of $1,500 that we have to do this. And we're looking for approval to go ahead and authorize that.
Yeah, so we're looking for a resolution to authorize this.
So
I'll second it.
A motion by Albert, seconded by Mrs. Beller. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? So carried.
It's just a check and balance.
Right. So the town of Massena Cultural Center, Celine Philibert Cultural Center Edition. As you know, last fall we got the approval from the State Dormitory Authority to move ahead with the grant that was supplied by Senator Joe Griffo, not the grant, but a stipend for an expansion at the Cultural Center. So we have I sent you a proposal from Brooks Washburn to do the preliminary drawings and come up with some plans and ideas. He's laid them out about what he's going to provide, and there's a total cost of $14,288.
I make a motion, we accept and sign.
Second.
For discussion, Randy Peets, you met with Brooks and a local contractor, and Albert and I were there. Is there anything you wanted to talk about, or?
I think what Brooks is going to do is Brooks is going to bring some proposals back to you in terms of.
I mean, it's pretty
different designs.
simple, it's 30 by 30 addition to the building. The town had already previously committed to up to $39,000 that we had from the sale of the original building.
38.5.
38.5.
And also there's the money from the sale of the excess exhibits at the, which I think is around $7,000 or $8,000, I think Joe had said. So there's that money as well as the 150. So there's, like plenty of money for the engineering, the architectural work, as well as the expansion. So it's all been accounted for to go ahead with that project.
Good. Can I have a motion?
Like
To
we did
approve
already.
this,
Make a motion to approve and sign.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, okay. Before we get into the other financial stuff, I wish I could figure out how to enlarge this, but we received in the mail the New York Power Authority high flow share that the town gets. Actually, there's a check that's sent to the county and it's divided among the people, the municipalities that are on within the project boundaries. And the check is the highest that we've ever gotten. Obviously, it's the water is a little high, but it was $165,374.80. And as in the past, I didn't allocate that to any particular budget item, so if anybody has any ideas where to utilize that, I suggested the town supervisor's retirement fund, shot right down.
I have
Nobody.
ideas. No?
No,
Okay.
nice try. Actually, you could probably put that in the minutes.
No, I couldn't in good faith do that.
So, that's, it's very nice. Thank you, local, whoever came up with that. It was done in the New York Power Authority license review. I think that was back in 2013.
Is there any constraints or restrictions on how that money's used?
Nope.
Nope.
Absolutely not. Other communities have budgeted this for specific items, but last year, I believe, we used most of it to pay off the airport hangar that we had bought the previous year. So we just tuck this in the general fund, and if we don't use it, it'll just go towards the fund balance, which we like to keep a healthy but not over balance. I think it's suggested that we keep up to 3 months in the operating costs for all the town entities.
So we have some big ticket items out there that are pending. I know the water repairs, I don't know how much of that's gonna.
Water repairs are under the end users.
Right, but I
It's
mean,
not the town.
there's gotta be some cost eventually, right?
But it wouldn't be the town itself, it wouldn't be the town taxpayers, it would be the actual water users.
Yeah, actually, we're not allowed
No.
to,
So what do we have? I mean, what's out there? You must have something.
Well,
We got the fishing.
I've got something when we get to it.
Okay.
We could just kind of set on it.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
We don't have to spend it
All right.
tonight.
Just as long as we got something we can put in.
I'm, I'm,
Other than your retirement fund.
yeah. Well, it's a good thing the press isn't here, because then, I'll be getting calls all day tomorrow with ideas. Alrighty, the transfers and amendments. Can I get, you've had those and been able to review them?
Yes.
Missed a few.
What?
Yep,
Did I,
just a couple more.
Yeah,
Where?
we missed number 3 and number 4
where am I?
on the additions.
James Devian and,
I don't have that,
Down at the
this
bottom.
one.
here,
I
I have a
emailed it
different
to
pen.
you.
Oh, here you go.
Oh,
I did email it to you, I promise.
all right, I'm looking to hire, or to approve, James Davian, who was one of those retired highway guys that we were talking about.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
There we go.
Just one thing, I know the winter rate is 26.72, but the overtime rate is 40.08. That's not, that should be on there too.
Goes on
Pay
the,
him the applicable rate.
I'm just making sure,
goes on the email copy.
yeah, yeah.
And then here on number 4, you've got approve the 2018.
No.
What is that? Well,
Financials, I've written on mine.
Is that supposed to be the audit?
I'm guessing that's Brenda's.
Right, I thought we were gonna wait until March on that one, that was a 140-page document.
We can wait, she just gave it to me to be approved. But we can wait.
I mean, I went to the nuts and bolts, and
Yeah.
there wasn't anything significant.
Which, it's already been 2 years and 2 months, it's another month.
So, make a motion that we approve the 2018 audit finding.
Sounds good to me.
Can I have a second?
second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? It's okay. Or abstention, I'm sorry. So, it's okay. Now, can we do
Now we,
transfers and amendments? Alan?
So moved. I thought I did that.
I know, but then we got sidetracked. I need a second
I'll second it.
to approve them. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, so carried. And then
Warrant, second. Warrant 2,
you reviewed the
we reviewed them.
Right.
wholeheartedly.
Kicking and screaming. How come, I have a question for, how come you get a stamp and we got a write?
We've discussed that before. If I recall correctly, Councilman Miller tried to get a stamp and we took it away from him.
I can understand that, but Councilman Miller's not here anymore.
And so you're not high enough on the seniority pole.
I'm looking out here and I'm wondering who's higher.
I had one. Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Roger comes closest, I think.
Yeah.
But
I got a
he's
stamp.
missed a
Can I
couple
use
of
it?
meetings.
I'm gonna say no.
So we have a motion by Albert, seconded by Mrs. Beller, to approve warrant number 2. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, or opposition, abstention. Boy, it's getting, you also have been sent the financials report, January, the revenue and expense reports, the year-to-date fund summary. And also, I believe Pam had included the committee reports that were submitted to the board, or to her for,
I have some committee reports too when you're ready.
Which one?
BDC.
Go ahead.
They met on February 20th. They discussed and revised their committee structure to include governance, audit and fiscal oversight, and finance committees, and they named their board members to each area. They provided updates on the BDC audit, the rail spur with CN, the downtown theater and grants current and coming, and their next meeting is on March 19th. I also had a nice tour of the Massena Fire Department. They invited me over on January 27th, and it was very nice. It's amazing what they do over there. They do a whole lot more than what you think. Several duties and tasks they have. And I had a great visit also with DPW with Frank DiAgostino this past Monday at that garage out there, and just looking ahead and getting a vision and seeing what they have and how it could be improved.
Did you get in the plow truck?
Not yet, but I have been invited.
And we have a lot of that'll work.
Weren't you going to call her on like a Saturday night at 2
Wait till
a.m.?
Saturday, 3:30 in the morning, we'll call her in.
Tomorrow might be a big day.
I get up from work at 5, so what's another hour and a half before that, right?
It is snowing out now.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. What's tomorrow?
Supposed to change rain tonight, rain through
No,
tonight.
no, no.
What's tomorrow, Thursday?
Tomorrow's tightest. There's no rain.
Oh.
So I had a couple things, actually, Association of Towns, we met with a company called New York Class, which actually invests the monies from towns, villages, counties. I believe the county, St. Lawrence County just joined. We do have some funds in that account, but those are more like long-term funds. My understanding is we could actually even put, taxes that were collected, $2.6 million, and then this draw down monthly and earn the average right now is 1.5%. Right now it's sitting in a checking account making, if lucky, if it's a 0.25%. So, we could gain possibly 1.25% on $1 million to $1.3 million. I would think that'd be open as well to, Massena Electric or the Rescue Squad money or any of those things. We don't have a lot that's actually in those accounts, so I think we might be missing the boat on some financing, some opportunities for higher returns on our monies that we have, including our fund balance. So I think that's worth looking at and having a representative come up and we can meet with them and kind of go over the books and see what we have that we can generate some more revenue. The other thing I had too is back last July anyway, we started with the logo, branding, website, the phone app that's going to be created through H3 Designs. That's something that we had agreed on some time ago, and the village has joined in with us for this project. This is something I've wanted for years and years, back when Newcomb did their branding and logo strategies. And if you haven't seen it yet, there was a press release sent out to the newspapers, but right now we have 2 logos and there is a website to vote on these 2 logos. We started off with about 40 logos. We've changed them up. Like I said, we started in middle of July with a 3-hour meeting. We've been going back and forth with emails and other meetings and changing things up. This is the first step in the whole process, along with branding. And one thing I've always wanted as well is the old Massena signs with the ship that was falling off, and we had those removed because they were falling down. But we identified a spot out on 37 by where the old Reynolds sign is. There's a ridge there. Reached out to Kevin Kitzman to see if that's actually Alcoa property. It's actually one of our old roads, I believe, before 37 came in. We may have access still to the old town. It's a crossroad that was out there. I can't remember the name of it, but I'd like to see a large sign out there, "Welcome to Massena," and then maybe one on the other end on 37 somewhere, across from the school or whatnot, as a start. So that's one thing I would like to see some money going to, and one of those items on that would be this logo along with the branding phrase for Massena. So that branding project also, like I said, includes the website, which is being developed, as well as a phone app, which is very popular with most people today. So this will be on until I think it's March 13th. I think Bob's been on vacation. I'm glad we were going to do it 2 or 3 weeks. We decided on 3 weeks. And I haven't seen where any gardener has posted it yet either, but the website is exploremassena.com, where you can get to those 2 logos. Click on them, you'll see some goods that have the logo on it, so you can see what they would look like on a t-shirt or a coffee cup or that type of thing. And then you can vote, 1 vote per IP address, so that it's not skewed in any way.
Yeah, my wife couldn't vote because it's recognizing one.
Well,
Only recognizing the one IP address, we know we
So,
have
all
4
right,
computers.
so if she takes her cell phone and goes off the Wi-Fi,
Off the Wi-Fi?
she can vote on
Okay, all right.
that. That would allow her to do that.
Because it is in the newspapers, and we went.
Was it? I haven't
Yeah,
seen
it
it.
wasn't, it was in the newspapers, and the sites are listed there. So you can click on the site in the newspaper, and it'll
Okay.
take you there. And then you talked about it this morning on the
Mhm.
Roger
radio.
Winfrey, and he's got it on the WMSA
Yes,
website.
yeah, I did see that as well.
Posted it, but it's taken a lot of work. I mean, there were 49
Yeah, it was,
designs, and you've narrowed it down to, well, not you, but.
yeah, the committee has. We changed a lot of things on it, what we liked, what we didn't like, you know, after we got down to to 8 of them actually. You know, what we liked about this and that, and they have really developed, changed over that time period, so.
I really like the seasonal flair to the fore.
I do too.
That's clever.
Yeah, well, that's something that Newcomb had, and that's something that I've always wanted as well, you know. So I won't take credit for that, because that's what Trampoline did for Newcomb when they did their branding strategy. So they have a visitor center signage, new logo, and I do like the seasonal ones as well. One of the things with this logo is, you know, a true test of it is to be able to identify it when it's really small. So if you hold it back farther, or make it a black and white logo, if it's identifiable, it's worthy of becoming a logo.
Good work. And also, it's a,
So along with that too, it's also, was Melanie and myself working on this, as well as Christy Winston, Matt LeBeer, Kelly Ramsey, and Don Meisner, and Jason, and Nate as well. So, and a couple others too have been working on the project. So it's been fun, and it's been exciting to get something produced anyway, and we'll keep on moving forward with it.
the old one designed by out-of-town firm, this one designed by local.
Yeah, that was what, over 6 years ago, 5.5 years ago. We were given a choice of 3 logos. They were, I don't know where they came from, but now we're into something I think that, you know, she did the one on the water tower. Yeah, up by the church. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
Just, you have my reports in the thing there. Do you have any questions? At the museum board, I just want to make sure everybody understands that they do have that mold issue and that they are going to approach for a dehumidifier and try to control that. And we discussed the expansion. And then the other thing, I don't know if Roger wants to speak up or not, but I think they're looking for the status on that retirement package and proposal. I don't know where that's at. For volunteers.
Tom Miller was the one that asked that you look at it on the retirement package, and I know they haven't got, the new people haven't got a copy of it, but it's been like 6 or 8 months now that we've been sitting there, and we were all ready to go over and ask in December for the $3,000 to implement it. It's a retirement plan for the rescue squad members, so that if they stay for, and it hasn't been set, 5 or 10 years, that they will get so much a month out of the 401.
I think we're, three of us are familiar with it, but if Sue and Bob aren't, maybe we can get that information to them and make
We
sure.
have no knowledge of it.
Okay, I think we should get that, make sure that they have all the information for that, because, you know, I would think we'd be voting on it eventually, and hopefully sooner than later.
Has that gone through any, has that proposal gone through any legal review yet, or perhaps, you know, whether you're done or not done?
No, we haven't, there was, the last I knew was that you were talking to the agency that would be setting that up.
Right, and Tom attended the meeting when he was there.
Right.
Of course, Tom isn't here now, but
Excellent.
that.
Let's put him on the rescue squad board.
No, but it-
Huh? Let's put Tom on the rescue squad board.
So, Roger, let you and I talk about that and figure out what our next step is.
Okay.
We'll make sure that Sue and Bob have the information for that.
Definitely. Okay. Anything else? Entertain a motion.
So moved.
I will second if you need it.
Here we are.
Okay.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstentions, okay. Thank you all for coming.